So, I sort of want to start this video by stating that I want to start making more videos on this channel. I haven't done that in like the 7 years that I've had this channel. So I kind of want to start doing it. I mean, I'm not going to say every video is going to be like this, with you looking at my face and me just talking a bunch of garbage and just, off the top of my head and not making really any rationalized sense. Some videos will actually have a little bit more work put into them, so you won't have to deal with this that often. But first comes first, the topic that I want to discuss is Dragon Ball. I think this channel is mostly going to be about Dragon Ball Z because I've been watching a lot of videos from certain guys who I pretty much make a living out of talking about Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I don't know if they get paid or anything for it, but I mean, that is their gimmick. So I'm thinking that, most of the videos that I've made in the past about Dragon Ball have been pretty popular. More popular than any of my other videos, so I guess the Mr. West 16 channel, or 15 channel, I'm known by Mr. West 16 on other places. I get really confused. I guess the Mr. West 15 channel is going to become strictly a Dragon Ball channel, I guess. So I guess the first topic of this channel would be to discuss something that's kind of annoying me a little bit, and that's the canon of Dragon Ball. And let me preface this by saying I was watching another video from another Dragon Ball user who used the term Arcosian, I mean, whatever the hell it's pronounced, which was what King Kai, when he told the story of the Tuffles to Goku when he was on Supreme Kai's planet, he told Goku that the Saiyans made a deal with the Arcosians. The Arcosians are heavily implied, I guess, by some weird finagling, to be Frieza's race. The Arcosians are a filler race. They were created in a time where Akira Toriyama hadn't really yet established in the canon what really happened on Planet Vegeta. So Toei made up this whole bullshit story where Planet Vegeta was destroyed by a comet, by its guardian, and yada 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 yada, whatever. Bullshit. And the Arcosians came up. They were like these cloaked figures that, were shrouded in mystery. And a lot of people, and I'm noticing even fans, have taken to that and taken it as word of God, essentially, which is not the case here. Arcosian is not Frieza's race. Frieza's race has no name. Frieza's race has nothing specifically called. It's kind of similar to how Yoda's race from Star Wars, it has not been established in any of the canon. We don't know what that race is called, therefore it's just Yoda's race. We don't know what Frieza's race is called, therefore it's just Frieza's race. Which is one of the reasons why in Xenoverse, that species is just shown as Frieza's race, or referred to as Frieza's clan, or whatever. So when I'm hearing people using, the word Arcosian interchangeably, I'm just like, well, then you have no idea what the canon is. So let me just establish some more facts about the canon, and what's canon, what's not canon. All the Dragon Ball movies, besides Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, although there are certain parts of those movies that, it's a little weird with with Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. So I'll get into that in a little bit. But all the movies, World's Strongest, Tree of Might, Dead Zone, Fusion Reborn, Wrath of the Dragon, Legendary Super Saiyan, Broly, Second Coming, all those little what-if sort of stories in those movies are non-canon. Cooler is non-canon, Broly is non-canon, Android 13 is non-canon, Hachiak is non-canon, Janemba non-canon. Pretty much anybody you see in those movies is non-canon if they are new. Let me say that non-canon specifically means something that was not in the original source material. Something that was made up either out of the sake of creating filler, which is done with the aim of giving the author more time to catch up, so that way that the show, can have something to show you while the author is working, because, the show obviously needs to keep going. They can't just stop the show. They have to keep it going, so they make up all these stories that didn't occur in the comic or manga to keep it going. Because, in Japan, when they adapt a manga into an anime, it's done pretty much exactly the way that it's written. Like that's kind of I know it's a little different over there than it is over here in terms of adaptations. Even the two specials, the Bardock special and the History of Trunks, are non-canon. As good as those movies are, and as awesome as Akira Toriyama seems to have enjoyed them, because Akira Toriyama did seem like he really liked the Bardock movie, those movies are not canon, or at least strictly the stories in those movies are not canon. Bardock himself is canon. Bardock himself, Darth Vader, Goblet, Bardock himself is actually canon, though. Simply because he appeared in one page of the manga. Now, the story surrounding Bardock is not necessarily canon, but if Akira Toriyama were to acknowledge it in some way, shape, or form, like he would refer to, the whole story of the movie. If he were to adapt that story into a manga of his own, then it would then become canon. But it's not canon. Dragon Ball GT and everything that occurs in that show is 100% non-canon. 100%. There's no filler to be had in Dragon Ball GT. Dragon Ball GT is filler-free because it's not based on any pre-existing content. It is a continuation of a story, but you could compare Dragon Ball GT to essentially me writing a fan fiction online, which is what I did with Dragon Ball Z 2. For those unfamiliar, take a look at my channel. Which leads into many problems with the overarching canon. So when you have elements of filler and non-canon put into something that, is mostly a canon thing, or at least an interpretation of a canon thing, then we have room for inconsistencies. Like Frieza, Cell, his father, and all the bad guys in Hell having their bodies, and Pikkon and Goku having to go down and save the day. Purists of Dragon Ball all know that if you're evil of heart, you do not keep your body after death. Therefore, that whole entire sequence was just whatever. It didn't make any sense. Complete filler, complete obvious exploitation for showing off the power of Pikkon, who is also a filler character. The whole Otherworld tournament was completely non-canon. Filler. Garlic Jr. saga, non-canon. They literally just ripped that character from one of the Elseworld movies and just gave them their own saga. The Tuffle race is also not canon. I mean, maybe you guys know something a little bit more than I do. Maybe you can say that, oh wait, no, the Tuffles are canon. And here's why. Just tell me why in the comments below, and we can figure it out. But as of right now, the Tuffles are not canon. If they are, then okay, let me know. As far as I know, the Tuffles are not canon. All we know about Planet Plant, if that's even what it's really called, is that the Saiyans were once a primitive race who got a hold of some technology and they developed their civilizations based on that. We don't really know a whole lot really about the Saiyans other than what's been given to us in filler. All this filler crap has been giving us varying explanations, but nothing is canon in those explanations. So ultimately, we don't really know anything about the Saiyans, in a way. Again, correct me if I'm wrong about that, but that's just, that's how I've always known it. Now, let's get into some more, weird territory in terms of the canon. Let's start with something unexpected, and that's the inclusion of Gregory in Dragon Ball Super. Now, Gregory was not in the original manga, but Gregory was in Dragon Ball Z Kai. This was probably done because I think there was too many frames in Kai that included Gregory, so they couldn't cut Gregory out. They had to keep Gregory in. And Kai ended its run a week before Dragon Ball Super aired its first episode. So I think it stands to reason that they included Gregory in Super because people just literally got done watching Kai, which had Gregory, and therefore Super had to include Gregory. Now, Super, for all intents and purposes, is canon because of Akira Toriyama's involvement in it. In terms of the story, in terms of the writing, in terms of everything, really. He's much more directly involved with Super than he ever was with Dragon Ball GT. This is more of an actual continuation of Dragon Ball with the guiding hand of the original creator. Therefore, it is canon. I mean, I don't think anybody has come out and really strictly stated that it's canon, but I'm pretty sure that it is considered canon by most diehard fans. Which comes into the next weird thing here. Now, we got Battle of Gods in 2013-2014. Then we got Super, which reinterpreted Battle of Gods storyline in its first arc. And then they did the same thing for Resurrection F. And now we're kind of in this weird, confusing area in terms of the canon, because which is canon, which is not canon? Is there different forms of canon here? Are there certain parts that are canon in Super that aren't canon in the movies? Are there certain parts in the movies that are canon and certain parts of the show that are canon? This is the part of the Dragon Ball universe in its new age that's very confusing, I think, to even some of the most pure, unadulterated, unabashed lovers of Dragon Ball. And that's the fact that what is canon here? Now, I'm going to assume that Dragon Ball Super trumps Battle of Gods and Resurrection F in terms of the canon. And the show is kind of what people, adhere to when it comes to Dragon Ball. Other than the manga itself. I think there are some people who would say that both are canon, the show and the movies. But obviously the show has done things differently than what the movies have done. So what exactly are we looking at here? I don't know. That's something that Akira Toriyama and Toei would have to answer. Or one of you guys, I guess. Somebody speculate below what exactly is considered canon out of those three things. Resurrection F and Battle of Gods were canon, but then the show started airing, so where does the canon lie now in terms of that? So I'm assuming Super trumps those movies, but then there are those who might argue the opposite. So comment below on exactly what that all means. I mean, because that's the area that I myself am a little gray in. Like, I'm not 100% sure how to take that. There's obviously a lot of canon talk that I could bring up here, but that's all in one video. And this video was done kind of off the cuff, so when I plan more videos in the future, let's just see where it goes. I'm not going to guarantee that you'll... Like I said, you won't see my face necessarily in every video. I'll actually put some work into some of these other videos, once I get the tools and the know-how to actually accomplish that. But in terms of canon, going back to the original point, let me state firmly that Arcosian is not canon. Frieza's race does not have a name. If you think that it does, it doesn't. They're not called Arcosians, they're not called Frost Demons, which was from the Dragon Ball Multiverse manga, a fan manga. And any lore you read in a game is not confirmed canon as far as I'm concerned. Maybe it is to some people, but to me it's not. Until it's strictly stated by Akira Toriyama himself, it is not canon. Okay? So anything that you see that's new in Dragon Ball, you need to question it first before you take it as canon. Let's continue the discussion down below. Like, subscribe, let's see what you guys think. Do you think Arcosian should be considered canon? Do you think Frost Demon should be considered canon? Let's discuss.